Hey guys, welcome to DreamHack Summer 2012. Are you guys ready for more League of Legends action? All right, we do have your first matchup of the day. Myself, Rivington III, joined with me here, as always, David Freak Turley of Riot Games. David, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. We have Fnatic versus CURSE.EU for your first matchup. It looks like Fnatic and Curse are into champion select. We're going to see what they have for each other in these picks and bans.
Yeah, so Curse has been given first pick and first ban. They've actually dropped out 3 champions so far. Twisted Fate, Caston, and Nocturne being banned out by Curse Gaming. And Fnatic dropping out Pale, Ari, and Shen. And just like yesterday, first ban going to be, or first pick rather, going to be Urgot for Curse. This one Mike's not working, so go for it.
It looks like, yeah, that first pick going to be Urgot. We see that they have gone ahead and banned out Twisted Fate, Cassidon, and Nocturne for Curse. Fnatic has chosen to ban out that Kale, Ari, and Shen, shutting down a little bit of that global ultimate from Shen, that range on Ari and Kale. Obviously, you don't want Kale in there. Very strong. We've seen Dyrus play that in a very aggressive top lane recently, so that is not something they want to see in the game. The first pick, as we said, or Freak was saying, that Urgot for Curse. We saw a lot of Urgot being played yesterday, coming out of the hands of CLG.EU. Yellow Pete was dominating in lane. They were able to grab that Soraka as well. And Soraka still being in this matchup. We're going to have to see if she is that mana battery for Urgot. We do have Nautilus as well in the jungle. Taric being grabbed up there. Pretty safe pick, giving the team a little bit more defense passively. And they're actually going to be able to stop, hopefully, that aggressive lane bottom with Urgot if they get that Soraka, as I said, still in the matchup.
Yeah, so we're seeing that Taric has been grabbed so far. Do you hear me at all?
No.
No,
not yet. Okay, still with me. So they did grab that Soraka. Slepper is going to be able to grab that. Extinct picking up Karthus. Very nice grab there. The good AoE kind of negates that Shen ban out. Maybe that's a good pick for Curse to see that Shen's not there. They can't do the global shield. Why not pick the Karthus? We have the Soraka. They can't negate Requiem. And we do see the Ashe coming out. Long-range initiation. That's very nice. Philox as well as Cyanide are going to be able to use that in conjunction to really get a long-range initiation. That's going to be great for them. We have Xpeke going on Anivia as well. We've seen Anivia being used very recently, quite a bit lately. That wall being able to completely just put off or separate a team from the opponent, and you are really able to take them out. You usually see that. We had CLG.EU picking up Urgot, the Anivia combo, the swap out and wall in. Maybe that's why Xpeke picking out that Anivia. They wanted to go for Karthus, though. We do see Malino picking up a Maokai as well as Anguish on Aurelia. So there is quite a tanky team there. We'll have to see if he does lock in on that last pick. But it's going to be Soaz who is going to be able to have the last say here with the counterban. Oh, you don't. Oh, talk into me.
This is cool. Yeah, so you've seen some really cool picks so far. You've got a very interesting bottom lane here with Taric, Ashe for Fnatic, but against Soraka, Urgot, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And Anguish actually picking up that Aurelia is going to be pretty good. They were actually playing a duo queue match right before the tournament started, and we had basically Extinct plus Anguish queue up against Zinnik plus Slepper. And basically, I saw Anguish doing a really, really good job on that Aurelia. So he's been warmed up on that champion. It should go well for him.
Yeah, all right, we'll have to see what they can do. That's true caster love right there, ladies and gentlemen. Borrowing mics. So we do have Soaz on this last one. We'll have to see what he decides to pick. It does look like he is going to be able to give himself that top lane. Xpeke in mid on Anivia. Philox keeping that as well. Or rather, switching with Lamia. And Lamia, actually, Fnatic has kind of a thing. Oh, look at you. Fnatic has kind of a thing with their team where they enjoy stealing pentakills from each other. We've seen it multiple times in multiple tournaments. So we'll have to see what they can really put out here. Soaz still taking a lot of time on this pick. 15 seconds left.
Yeah.
And they're really deciding this one out. There's a lot of tank and a lot of late game scaling that comes into play with Curse right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Curse's late game is great. This is one of the advantages when you pick a bruiser top like Aurelia as opposed to a more tanky champion like Shen is you're playing for a very late game situation. Now, Soaz grabbing Nidalee is, I think it's a very good choice. He's known for Nidalee very, very well. You can hear the crowd applauding those Nidalee choices. It's a very, very good champion. Does a lot of fun things. Soaz, I think, is known for playing AP Nidalee. And you look at this lineup, and that would work really, really well. You've got so much poke on this lineup. You've got a ton of crowd control and just generally position control from this Anivia. You've got Ashe and Nautilus jumping in there for a lot of crowd control as well. Taric can help out in a pinch. And then you've, of course, got those javelins throwing out by Nidalee. It could be very, very scary for Curse to deal with this.
Yeah, Fnatic kind of has that long-range team, as you said. Curse having a good peel team that able to peel those champions off your AD carry, but I don't know if they're going to get the chance to. The fights are going to happen from long range. Soaz is going to initiate with those spears. You'll actually have a Expeke on the outside just throwing down that ultimate and wall so he can get Flash Frost in. There's just a lot of attacks from the outside of Fnatic. They're going to have to really get Slepper in there early, get that switch on, and really get Malino and Anguish to shut them down, because that is really going to be the key factor here. That switch, in, like just putting them in Karthus' Defile with Malino and Anguish there to shut them down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The damage output and the ability to burst and you know, with the Urgot swap, that's always been a very key of a team with Urgot. Is, you know, they know that as an attack damage carry, Urgot is not the same as an Infinity Edge Ashe or a Corki or a Graves and things like that. But you bring so many different things. You bring so much control, and again, they are running a Bruiser, this Irelia top, who's going to scale throughout this game. So Urgot gets to say, yes, I'm going to go in and swap. I'm going to bring you into the Karthus Defile. He's going to put that wall down. It's going to be very, very scary. It's a great lineup here that they have ultimately. It's going to go pretty well for him. Yeah,
like I said, they do have the long-range Ash Arrow initiation. The team comp kind of just settles around still being on the outside, though. Neither of these comps, besides Curse's Anguish on Irelia and that Maokai, really want to get in there. And we'll have to see what they can do to really start off these fights. There's a lot of kiting that can be done by Fnatic with that wall, with Taric stuns as well. Nidalee, obviously, one of those escape champions and just excelling in that ability. So here we are into game, ladies and gentlemen. Your second day of League of Legends here at DreamHack Summer 2012. Looks like we are checking out CURSE.EU now, here and at home in the crowd. If you want to see CURSE.EU take this matchup, let me hear you in the crowd. Ooh, ooh, oh.
Delayed.
Let's see if there's a vice versa to this.
All right, if you guys want to see Fnatic take this one over and go 1-0 in the group, let me hear you guys. Holy cow.
I think we have a fan favorite.
And Curse at least has Swedes in the lineup too, so that's pretty impressive. You guys, big fans of Fnatic here. Let's see how they can do.
It looks like both teams just kind of setting up for a lot of safety here. Cautious in the early part of the match. They don't want to give away any of these games right in the beginning of the day. Both teams kind of getting themselves settled as well. They were in a few games before the matches started, getting their clicks down, making sure their hands were warm. If you guys enjoy watching this and you actually want to watch them personally, they are playing right over there. So if you want to take a look at the players themselves, they're just in the League of Legends booth. And it looks like everybody's pretty much returning to their jungle here, Freak. This is going to be a really safe start to the game. Looks like we're just going to be able to see the jungle in the lanes about 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, some really cool moves by Curse, though. They invaded for wards, basically. I think they want to counter jungle very aggressively against Cyanide's Nautilus, because they warded the Wraith camp, and they also warded the exit to top lane. So they not only want to give a very safe lane to Anguish there on Irelia, they're expecting a counter jungle, or sorry, an early gank there, but they also want to see what's happening in mid lane, and I think they want to make a stab and try to steal out Cyanide's Wraiths. And that is something we saw. Here we go, Phalanx and Lamia coming into this bottom lane, Slepper forced away, and they only picked up the small golem and were forced to reset that. So that actually doesn't give them a lot of experience, and it will also hurt their jungler's speed, because he's going to miss out on one of those monsters as he goes through the camp.
Yeah, and actually Cyanide taking quite a bit of damage off of that wolf camp. Nobody really gave him any help. It looks like he is back up here. He has had to throw down a few potions. He will have this easily. I don't think he's using Smite for that, so he could go for the fast red here. And they are going to take that down without going for it. Almost resets because he loses vision. And it looks like Maluno doing the same as well, now heading over to the right side. Does he have Smite as well? He did use Smite, so we may see Cyanide coming into the lane a lot earlier due to still having Smite. Going to get that red camp in just about 30 seconds.
Maluno just ahead by a little bit right now, but that's going to equalize out. Cyanide actually going around. Wow, he dodged the ward. I don't know if they saw him put it down, but Cyanide went around and juked the entire board there. He's going to use his Smite to grab this lizard very early, and they've basically denied vision from Curse right now. However, they still have that one ward and Tri-Brush. It's going to make it difficult for a Cyanide to get a good gank here, but he's going to be level 3 and he's going to be able to move.
Yeah, very nice forward warding, and the Tri-Bush gives Irelia vision right there. Anguish knows he is going to be coming into the bush, so now this is wasted time up top for Cyanide, as Anguish could play this aggressively and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to push up. But I like what Cyanide did. Oh, coming into the middle, we got a twisted advance by Malino, and it looks like he could be able to egg XP. Wow, so much damage! So much burst damage, and they were able to get first blood 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. the regular jungle pattern still actually going for red. Malino was able to come out a little faster there than Cyanide.
Yeah, an absolutely phenomenal invade there, that Maokai grab, really, really helping him out. And that's one of the distinctions between, you know, grabbing that Nautilus and grabbing that Maokai, that even though the Nautilus was a very early grab, they said, well, but you're a skill shot there. You can't just instantly grab and make sure you get that root. Nautilus, you know, has to make sure he dodges minions and all that. Whereas Maokai just gets to say, as long as I'm in range, I press W, and I'm in good shape. And very much in good shape they were, picking up that first blood. A great, great opening from Curse.
And we actually saw that Cyanide was starting to hit B. A lot of players will do that. They'll start to hit back, and they may not. They may see the situation goes into their favor, and they're going to stay. But he was hitting back, and then saw that he was able to get a kill in middle. Now Cyanide, or Maluno, picking up a little bit of experience, caused Cyanide to have to stay in the game, stay on the map, and he could not go back yet for an item.
Yep, seeing this Karthus run back very, very early on, grabbing 2 items there thanks to that first blood. Maxing out lay waste, of course, and it's just looking like a very, very good match for Curse right now. They're up 900 gold, and of course, his bottom lane, you know, we saw it yesterday with CLG versus Made in Italy, and it was Urgot Soraka just kind of dominating the lane. We see now Urgot's at 26 minions to a unfortunate 17 from Ashe, so you're seeing these matchups go really, really well for Curse right now.
Yeah, we have a 4 minutes Philosopher's Stone going on to Maluno, so that's going to help him out very well. That next blue buff definitely going to Karthus in middle, and Extinct will be more than happy to grab that. Maluno trying to come up top here, showing a lot of presence in each lane. Does not quite have vision in the bush yet. She is forced to flash between both bushes. So almost successful gank there, definitely getting the summoner spell out. A wall goes down, Extinct actually getting doubled up, but the E hit him before the Q, and he was not able to get the double damage down. Here we go, down bottom, Slepper trying to get out of there. He does get stunned. They cannot get the anchor toss across the wall. Cyanide almost grabbing Zinnik. Very nice try there. And a bottom flash is forced as well. Very great job. Great aggression from the junglers in both lanes.
Yeah, absolutely some great moves made so far. See still, actually the gold lead jumping up to 1,200 now. They're just constantly getting themselves in the advantage here. Curse playing a phenomenal game so far. You see Soaz's build just opening up with potions. And those boots not really getting pushed too much.
Slepper down bottom, getting attacked very hard. He gets exhausted. Could go down. 2 more attacks do take him out. And a very nice job there. Consecutive stuns. Taric into Anivia. Top being dove. Soaz not looking too good. Bursted. 300 and 200 damage hits there. Just not much you can do about that. And it looks like they are going to be able to take this dragon, seeing that Maluno is top. They feel safe enough with this 4-man.
Yeah, so it's a very good move. You always want to try to do that. When you see the jungler run up the top lane, you want to shove down your opponent's bottom lane and switch to dragon right away. You're going to see this gold lead diminish quite a bit as Fnatic picks up the dragon kill. But, you know, a lot of good moves on both sides. Good dragon pickup there, 12.5 minutes, the respawn. But a great set of pressure there onto Urgot, and of course a great gank by Maokai at the top lane.
Yeah, Malinu doing very well for himself right now, picking up all the items that he needs. Everybody right now on Curse has a ward in their inventory, every single champion, which is amazing because they are going to keep their vision up. And now that they have a little bit of a lead in this early game, well, the 400 gold is not much, and it's still anybody's game. They're going to know when the enemy team is placing wards and where they can focus theirs. Curse is going to be able to start directing this where they want it to go. They did just lose that dragon, but we'll have to see if they can bring it back in the next few minutes. Dragon will come up around 13:30.
Yeah, and we'll see what these guys can do about this. Urgot, of course, back in lane. Lamia dodges the E right there, making sure to not get hit by that corrosive charge. He does not want to get locked onto. And, you know, he's catching up the minions a little bit. Again, pressure at top lane, though. Soaz not going to like this. Karthus ult as well. Soaz heals, but it's not going to be enough. Anguish picks up that kill, and a great set of coordination there. It's like last weekend all over again. Karthus ults whenever a gank comes in, and it's a whole lot of pain for that top lane.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Karthus in the middle. You can choose to start the fight or end the fight whenever you want to without leaving lane. Expeke now grabbing blue. That is up for mid as well. We're going to have to see what Extinct can do with that. They are getting some good kills here as Curse now up 3-1, 7 minutes, 50 seconds into the game. Extinct going to grab this off. Malino dropping down his smite to help that and get his mid AP back to lane to get his farm on. Farm looks pretty good between everybody right now. 54 for Extinct in middle against Expeke's 39 with some kills and that earliest Catalyst to protect her. So he is going to be able to just sit in lane forever right now.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a roam coming up towards the top here. He's been warded out, but they're going to go and make sure they grab their own lizard here. I think they're a little bit worried about invades, but you see there's not a lot of movement from Curse at the top of the map, so they're going to be okay right now. But the one thing that Curse is doing phenomenally is a lot of ward coverage. They seem to have Just very, very aggressive wards kind of everywhere. They can see all the mobility and all the movement on the map. Whereas Fnatic, you know, they've not had a fun time at top lane, and they didn't actually ward this hard before, but now they've heavily warded their own top of the map because they've had 2 successful, very great ganks on this Nidalee so far. So they're kind of reacting to that pressure and spending some money to keep SOAS safe. Still, though, taking a lot of damage from Angush. That 1v1 still much better for that Aurelia, of course. She's got that Wriggle's Lantern. She's got a lot of armor. She's not going to drop to Bruiser Nidalee anytime soon.
Yeah, SOAS is going to have a tough time here spending getting 3 Dorans. It's quite a bit of gold to spend on that as well. It will help to sustain in lane and do good damage later, but that later is going to have to happen for him.
Yeah, well, the one advantage they have, though, is they can kind of have Cyanide play more gank-focused and let the other lanes take the farm. We just saw Nidalee come down into that jungle and grab those golems for some gold, and she can keep doing that. Nidalee's very, very fast, has good sustain with her heals and everything, but that'll work out pretty well for her. So she can catch up as long as the lane stabilizes and she doesn't miss any last hits and just takes the golems over and over. And we can see kind of similar things with Anivia and Karthus. They can both farm raids and kind of stabilize the game.
Yep. Looks like we have some movement there. Expeke almost getting caught or pinched out here. Maluno coming from one side. Wall of Pain goes down. Huge damage from Lay Waste. And it looks like Extinct trying to refresh his blue will not get that one. Slepper, a little bit of health left, and he will not be able to make it out of that one alive. Very nice pressure from Fnatic and absolutely cutting off the escape there.
Yeah, so I was watching that one as you were watching the battle in middle, but basically they got near that turret there, near Ash's turret, and Ash just like let loose an Ash arrow, stunned Urgot, and they just charged in. And you know, this Nautilus came around from the back, just kind of jumped in. Urgot swapped, but it did not matter. They had a lot of stuns to chain together. Ash was able to chain slow him the whole way through, and it was, you know, 3 versus 2, and you know, you can't really outtake that.
And here you go. You can actually see Cyanide's movement on the minimap. He's moving up top now as he sees Malino down bottom. He's saying, hey, it's going to be safe to gank top. This won't be countered. Let me just grab these golems. Looks like he may try to get some aggression here onto the top lane. Bottom lane now returning. Looks like Ash has picked up a pickaxe, a scepter for a little bit of sustain in her lane as well. And Urgot looks like he does have a kind of somewhat build towards that Brutalizer, but getting some defense as well early.
Yep, there we go. Push onto SOAS, but here comes Cyanide off to the side. Ultimate is not up, but he'll land the anchor smash. SOAS taken a lot of damage onto Angush. He will flash out. Can they do enough damage? Javelin toss, he'll juke it, but he's going to flash for the attack, and there is the kill picked up.
SOAS needing that very much. A little down in gold here. He is going to be more than happy to pick that one up and get some sustaining, more tanky items so he can continue to be that bruiser Nidalee for his team. Highest CS right now, 101, 30 higher right now than the highest on Fnatic. Extinct doing a very nice job in mid with that Karthus as you see him going back, pulling Wraiths. You can see the ping coming down from Fnatic saying, hey, he's at Wraiths. Once he grabs that, we should try to get this dragon possibly.
Yeah, so Malino, you know, after his 2 gold pretends, grab the oracles and immediately says, I'm into ward sweep mode. We know dragon's up in 1 minute. And so he's kind of taking this 1 minute to clear out as many wards as possible. You can see him putting some wards down as well, making sure they have vision of all the entrance paths here. And he's going to make sure that they have a very safe entrance into this dragon attempt. Nautilus does not have one himself, actually went for fast boots of mobility instead. He's going for those ganks, but will not have that same pressure in these fights. We can just see just throwing saplings everywhere, making sure that Fnatic does not have a good entrance here. Cyanide taking a good amount of damage. Urgot's going to get that lock on as well. Cyanide not liking what's happening here. Pops the shield to keep himself alive. And we're going to see, you know, in the next 20 seconds, this will come up. And Curse completely in position. They've sent Aurelia down as well. Of course, so has Nidalee. And we'll see how this pans out.
Oh, wow. Angush kind of putting it on 2v1 here. So he blows a few cooldowns there. And Nivea obviously able to throw down that ult whenever she wants. Gets the heal out of Nidalee. And it looks like they are more than happy to try to take this fight. They know they have the upper hand with vision. Melino's Oracle, very nice and early, is going to see this. More ward control coming from Curse right now, or map control, I should say, with 3 wards and actually 2 on Angush. So they have a lot to put down here. A lot of these fights around this area will be a fight of wards. They'll be placing them down left and right, inside the bush, outside the bush, on the other side of the elbow of the wall, so they can always keep vision. Here we go around to the blue. They are going to challenge this. Angush in a 4v1, 5v1. He's the first one in. Takes an Ash arrow to the face. The swap out from Urgon. It looks like Philox taking a lot. Lamia is the focus, and the AD carry goes down. SOAS forced off to the left of the fight as they just drop down Fnatic in this fight. A very nice job having Karthus there. Oh, the Requiem goes down, and Philox will not make it out alive. Unfortunate. A beautiful position for Extinct to be able to sit in the bush and defile, covering that whole area with damage.
Wow, that was a phenomenal job right there. Despite getting an amazing swap onto Aurelia, she managed to take that entire team. Urgot came in from the bottom, swapped down Ashe, and then there went all their damage output, basically. That was a wonderful, wonderful job in that fight by Curse. Of course, they grabbed the Dragon as well, and they've now gotten themselves 2,000 gold into the lead, winning a 3-1 team fight and then a Dragon.
Yeah, that is huge right there in terms of map control. They now know what the timer is on that blue buff as well, so they have just that much more information about Fnatic. And Fnatic really needs to start getting those inches, edge themselves into the lead. They're on their heels a little bit right now. Obviously still anybody's match with no turrets down, but these objectives heavily going in Curse's favor right after that first Fnatic Dragon.
Yeah, so right now Fnatic needs to get themselves into a better position here. They do have the ability to run without a Nivea wall. The problem is the poke game is very hard for them because they've got a lot of great poke with Urgot. They've got Soraka on their own team as well for Curse. Karthus can spam and all that. The poke game is actually not really all that ideal for Fnatic. I think they're going to get out-poked if they run for that kind of a strategy late game. Of course, they didn't run AP needling, so those javelins are not nearly as scary. I think instead they need some kind of they need to get some kind of picks because these all-in sort of 5-on-5 fights, they're not surviving in the Maokai ultimate. They're getting swapped and kind of picked up there. Karthus has kind of been left alone to just deal damage, and he's maxing Defile second, so he's actually a huge source of punishment in these fights. I think what Fnatic needs to do is actually pick off kills. That's what these picks are kind of for. They've got Ashe with the arrow in there. They've got Taric and Nautilus who can catch up with stuns. Nivea can do the same thing. They have really, really good assassinations, but they don't really work well in pokes or in sort of all-out brawls. And so they need to sort of make objectives the major focus here and pick people off out of position.
So Cyanide also going for 2 gold per 10, picks himself up in Oracles finally. They know that they need to counter this map vision as well. They're going to try to get this clear down. He has not popped it yet, but he is heading down here. Now, a lot of the ganks for Cyanide have all just kind of been the waiting game, and he hasn't been able to get in there. The Dazzle goes down. The Ashe Arrow already went out. The grab as well. 3 stuns consecutively onto Slepper. Switches it out and swaps for Lamia, but is that enough? He puts himself in the center of 3, giving himself magic and armor, and he is able to turn it around with that kill. Phelox now getting chunked down. That front end burst so much. The Dazzle, then into the stop from Nautilus on his passive. The Anchor Toss can still hold him in place. Does he have another Acid Hunter? Oh, it leaves him with a bit of health, and Slepper goes down without being able to take down Taric with just about 70 HP.
And here comes Extinct in from the side. They've just both sort of traded pages coming down. So they managed to go 1 for 1 there. They picked up that kill, but, Ashe is just not surviving those fights. When Urgot swaps, he's got that Glacial Shroud, and Ashe just can't burst through that damage. And unfortunately, it seems like Taric is not saving his stun for those swaps, and that would be a very, very big deal. They want to interrupt those, but now we've got a 3 versus 2 here, and a fair bit of pressure by Curse. Fnatic does stop that with a lot of area of effect clearing, so minions aren't going to kill their turret just yet. But they're still creating some very scary situations here. Curse kind of driving in all these fights right now.
Yeah, Soaz trying to put a lot of damage on the turret. He gets himself with a heal, which is going to give himself that attack speed. They want to be able to throw that lane down. They need Soaz in other lanes right now. These team fights are heavily going in the favor of Curse. I think Karthus is just a little bit too much early game. He got a very early round of Aegis, and it is just shredding through any magic resistance Fnatic has.
Yeah, so right now, though, Fnatic doing what they need to do, and it's getting this early Oracle. Well, not early, of course. The first one did go to the jungler on Curse, but again, they need to play that sort of pick-off game where they lead in with an Ashe Arrow. And again, they have a situation here now on Karthus as well. Malinu off to the side, but I think this is a good position here for Fnatic. There we go. Malinu getting picked up. A lot of damage. They picked up 1. So much pressure coming in from Extinct. Cyanide taking a lot of pain. They need to go up. They need to kind of follow up on this. Cyanide still taking a lot of damage. Does pick that one up. Nice play by Extinct. Pekka getting pretty low. Stun comes in from Taric. Uh-oh, Urgot coming in from the side as well. They've picked up 1 now, and the Lay Waste, though, are in range. That will be a kill picked up right there. 2 for 2 right now. Both teams losing their Oracles. Velox trying to run away. There's his heal. He will survive from Slepper. But now it's a 3 versus 3, but Soraka is in better shape than Taric. So this is going to be a push for Curse. This might be the very first turret of the game.
Yeah, looks like they are going to aggress mid quite hard. The Spirit coming out as well as the volley, and they're putting a lot of defense on this. 2 pretty good wave clearers there, and they are able to keep the turret up with 450 HP. That's still going to take a good amount of focus from these guys. Do they want this with this next wave? It looks like they are strong enough. Nautilus and Taric quite far off, haven't even reached the steps of the base exit. And they're actually not going to go for it, but now they know they do have dominance after a dragon, after they go for blue buff, which they just pinged and they have timed. They may have themselves a tower as well.
Yeah, I can't believe that one actually didn't go down, but a good set of defense here. see Urgot and Maokai at the bottom. They're just not pushing, though. They've kind of said, you know what, we're okay with kind of keeping the game how it is. And CURSE are really not pushing for any major aggression anymore. They might just wait for the next dragon and try to win a fight there. But if CURSE is going to play that way, that actually gives Fnatic a good chance to catch back up to this game, because they have about as many carries as CURSE does. So they're okay with letting the game run to the late game and kind of fighting him there and letting all the early advantages kind of stop. So with CURSE not really fighting anything except, unless there's a dragon, I think plays in Fnatic's favor.
Looks like they're just milling about, trying to clear out the jungle creeps. They do want this middle turret. They are all kind of congregating around this area. Soraka, Maokai just below that area. Karthus Stink's going to put damage onto the turret, but they clear the minion wave quite fast with that Q. And it looks like Cyanide is going to get dove onto the turret. So much front-end damage. He does not stand a chance against the 3, as well as Zinnik being there to give his team armor. And there is that turret pressure they wanted. Maybe they were just actually waiting for somebody to be there by themselves for that turret. Maybe we can get a kill out of this. Let's see if we can go for turret and a kill. They have pressured that, and here comes the objective.
That was an excellent move, and of course you can see, again, the Oracle's, Malino died, and he picked up a new one. He warded all the way up across near this golem, and he was there for the spawn of dragon. They had so much map control right there. They knew where everyone was. They knew they could flank around that turret, and because they're stronger individually, they weren't worried about getting caught out in the jungle.
Your next dragon coming up at 26-39, 10-7 here, about 20 minutes into the game. A 4,000 gold lead separates these two teams right now, and we can just see really where the money is being made. It looks like Maokai actually has quite a bit in the pocket, 1,500 there. Your highest is going to be that Extinct and Anguish up top, 7,000 on their team. The closest is 6,100 on XPeke. So you can see that CURSE is definitely dominating the money game right now throughout each lane. It's not just one person really grabbing all of it.
Yeah, they're up on dragons, they're up on turret as well, and of course, you just see Karthus 3, 1, and 4 involved in 7 of his team's 10 kills, just being kind of an all-star here. Though, of course, there's a swap at the bottom. Lumia not going to like getting hit by Slepper. Here comes Malino as well. Flash comes off. There is as well the Karthus ultimate, and that will be a kill picked up. He just got chained down by 3 abilities in a row. Phenomenal job there by CURSE, picking up another kill here, and they're just growing their lead and growing it, and I can't see them not pushing right now. They've built a big lead. They have a lot of map control. They can cement this advantage very, very quickly.
Malino backing next to a ward right there and says, oh wait, that's money. So it goes ahead, grabs that up. Looks like Slepper is going to be able to do a good amount of damage to this turret. I don't think it's going down in this instance, but they are starting to gain heavy control of each one of these lanes. The more they damage each turret, the more they can do what they just did in mid. Wait for one person to want to farm next to it and easily dive it, take a turret and a person. Depth charge going out, and he gets himself close. Maluno stays there, actually, and it looks like they are going to be able to kind of anchor down here, try to get some. Ash Arrow hitting the wrong one, and the focus is all over the place as Malino just a little too tanky for the fight. They're still committing to Slepper, though. Slepper will take enough damage, and if it doesn't work the first time, let's go for the second.
That was a very nice step by Fnatic. They will get this turret for a lot of crowd control. I think they swapped with Soraka a bit late. She was stunned for pretty much a full duration shot, and not a lot of resists on her, being that she went triple gold for 10 and regular level 1 boots. But hey, Fnatic with a beautiful wall from XPeke on that Anivia just locked up Urgot. Slepper did go down because of that, and they equalized on turrets 2 for 2. Of course, these top laners have been kind of given rein to push a turret sequentially here between Soaz and Anguish. So, yeah, they've brought the game, again, only 4,000 gold, and they're bringing it closer again.
Yeah, Fnatic really trying to pull back here. This is where Lamia is going to start excelling. He has that damage. He has very good positioning as an AD carry. XPeke getting caught out here, but Anguish getting a little too antsy in this fight. The Wall of Pain, however, changing the minds of Fnatic, and they will lose one, and that Philax goes down quite fast. And there is the turret again. Who wants to stay under the turret when it's damaged? This guy does, and CURSE is going to take advantage of that.
Wow, excellent moves here. CURSE now picking up all 3 outer turrets. And, I mean, it was only like 5 minutes ago it was 0-0 on turret kills, and suddenly 5 of them have gone down, and CURSE going for their 4th right now. They've got a partial minion wave here. They'll get some damage onto it, and they might choose to just take this. Of course, Malino has a lot of armor here, got 107, and yeah, they're just going to go and blitz down this turret. And CURSE really now playing very, very aggressively.
That bottom lane, very nice to be open. Once they grab Baron and there's really no objectives out, you can leave somebody to farm that bottom lane. That can be an Aurelia. They can really farm it up fast, having Karthus in the middle, not having to move as much. The map control with Karthus that they have, even without Karthus just makes it that much more. But Yeah, without it, they'd still have a pretty good chance in this game.
Yeah, they're just playing an overall beautiful job as an entire team. Oh, Extinct has to flash over that wall. Got caught a little bit. The Anivia stun, and there's so much poke from Fnatic. I can't believe how well that worked for them. Everyone landed a skill shot there. That was phenomenal by them. And now they've picked up a very important kill. Still those 6,000 gold to deficit, but they're going to push forward and try to make something out of a 5 versus 4 here.
Yeah, definitely a prime fight for Fnatic there. Like you said, hitting all of their skill shots, and there was nobody on that tanky front line. We kind of saw that Extinct put himself on the side, trying to get a few lay waste down on single people or double, trying to get that double damage down on the singles, though. And he really got himself in a bad position there. Anchored as well, the depth charge as well as the Ash Arrow, just into pretty much everything and shut down. We could saw that Curse was like, wow, we can't initiate or use Requiem in this fight to end it. We really don't want to do this fight. Let's back off. They're going to go ahead. Aurelia double buff. That's going to be very scary for them. She's scaling quite hard into the game. Already has that Wit's End, the Wriggles, as well as building a Zeal for the attack speed crit damage. And it looks like she's going to be pretty strong in just a few levels.
Yeah, Trinity Force coming up next for Aurelia. Her current gold, actually, I think she's got about enough to complete the item. She's maybe 100 gold short or so. So you're going to have her doing a whole lot of pain to that Fnatic team. They're still alive right now. 6,000 gold is not insurmountable at 25 minutes in. But Curse have been very good at adding advantages sort of one after the other in sort of small numbers. They've won a fight 2 versus 1. You know, they keep winning individual fights, picking up individual kills, getting a track, getting a turret here and there. But we've not really seen any massive shifts on either side. No big aces, no big crazy fights. So both these teams, I want to say they're playing a bit safely, of course. This group stage is best of 1. We've got all of Group A and all of Group B being played out today. Every team going to play each other. And actually, if you guys want, I got a schedule. But first, Asher coming across will land. Acidic taking some good damage right here. Baron might pick it up. It's going to be close. And it does. Soez gets the kill credit. Oh, man.
Wow. And definitely a fight they cannot choose to go in here. Fnatic may have just made themselves a Baron dance in their favor, but it looks like they're not focusing that. They do have the damage to take it, but maybe they just don't want to see that Requiem. They're actually going to get this turret, maybe deny that vision of this turret, allow their minions to see a little bit further into that lane, push even farther. They're not going for the Baron. They're going to go straight for a fight. Lamia getting locked down here, and they lose Lamia quite early. Slepper is able to be full health still at this point. Phelox forced out of the fight as well. Cyanide cannot help peel out, and Fnatic is forced to run. Anchor toss coming out from Cyanide. Xpeke trying to throw him in as they are escaping this fight, and Curse able to turn that one around. Oh, triple kill from Extinct on the Requiem, and it looks like it may be the Quadra if he can get there in time. No, they're going to take out Xpeke in the 2v1 and transfer that extra blue buff over to that Anguish.
Extinct did a whole lot of pain there, and Zinnik had actually respawned on that Soraka just in time to get Wish in on that team fight, which helped them win that battle a whole lot. And of course now Curse with a pretty much free shot at Baron, and what a turnaround. 2 minutes ago I was like, yeah, there haven't been any really big team fights that swung the game around. Well, there's one for you guys. Curse picking up a clean ace. They lost Soraka earlier, but other than that, they won a 5 versus 5, or even a 4 versus 5 with no losses. So that was a phenomenal job, and Curse very far ahead now.
Yeah, Extinct with 11,000 gold by himself. Anguish 10,000 gold. Everybody else is at an 8,000 gold mark right now. We do see there are some 5,000, 6,000s for the junglers. So they're still trying to bring themselves up. But it just looks like Curse has the advantage right now from the jungle, from the lanes, pushing very strong. I would have thought Fnatic would really want to go for that Baron dance there. They had a little bit of the upper hand. They could keep Karthus out with their poke. They had the depth charge. They could have done what they did at the turret and have Baron as well. But they just went straight for the tower. And once they took the first one, with all the damage that they did, and they saw that they were trying to clear minion waves, they said, wait, those are cooldowns. Curse is more than happy to fight Fnatic after that, and they were able to just chunk down Lamia. Once Lamia was out of there, Slepper was able to swap somebody as well, and they were just ready to continue that fight, pushing out Fnatic with a handful of health in the end and a triple kill for Extinct. So this game, like you said, that fight to turn it around, they just put the pause button on Fnatic for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, Fnatic definitely wants to sit back and farm a little bit, and it's probably the best idea for them anyway. They do, again, have really, really great scaling. You see Xpeke, you know, he's got his Archangel staff now. He's still building mana up on that. He's got some decent ability power finally building up. The unfortunate thing for Fnatic, though, is Karthus will continue to scale for a while, and that'll make some scary, scary situations. And they might dive into the turret. Another Shurelya's is used, And they've got minions here. They're going to keep poking out a little bit. But, I mean, this fight could be the game, and it could be a comeback for Fnatic. If the wrong champion takes turret damage, and they're going to actually jump in. Angus taking a lot of pain, jumps immediately onto this Taric. A lot of pain going off on all sides. Knockup onto Extinct, taking a lot of damage. Ashe really breaking him down right now. This Karthus will fall down. Ashe gets a shutdown credit. The ult's going to go off, though. This could be a couple of kills picked up for him. They've picked up 2 so far as Nautilus goes down. So they've now got a 4 versus 3. On the side of Curse Gaming. They will take out this one turret. They will continue to push forward. Their health bar is actually pretty high right now, and they are going to keep pushing in on this.
You know, that was huge, and I really like what Angus did there. When he got attacked and Nautilus pulled him in, he's like, I'm going to get even closer. He instantly blade surged over to Lamia to shut him down. Lamia was, however, able to back off there. Like you said, they traded a few kills. Karthus really just playing that zombie one now. Almost did about 600 to 700 damage to Taric as we saw that Requiem go off. And, you know, with the armor that they have right now, Zinnik tanking, it looks like they may be caught out of position on this one, though.
Yeah, they're going to Shurelya's back. The stun's going to go off. Urgot could swap. No, they'll just burst down. Wow. Felox taking so much damage, he will fall down to Angush. And now Fnatic might not want to jump back out of this.
Intense damage right now coming from Curse. They are very focused on who they are going to take out first in the fight. They saw that Taric was there. Like, Nidalee's going to jump away. Nautilus is just going to be able to anchor toss down on the base, on some terrain, and get himself away. Why not take out Taric? We'll get a little bit of gold. We also have a 4v5 with an open inhibitor. So, see what they can do here. Actually, a downed inhibitor and more turrets.
Yeah, the advantage of having Shurelya's, though, has really helped them out. They've got, I believe, 2 on that lineup. They've got 1 on Soraka and 1 on Maokai, and that's what you get for having so much more gold, is you get these tools that let you pick some really, really good fights. And it's not that you just, win because your stats are higher, is you win because you can position yourself better and escape battles better. And there we go, again, the pain going off on this turret. Cyanide will jump in. They want to fight with the turret here. Cyanide, the depth charge is off, but his team was not really on the same page. They were not already. Soaz getting caught, will try to run away. Greeted by Maokai, exhausted, so much damage. Angus picks up that kill. Slepper getting forced back and survives it anyway. Soraka puts up Wish. Maluno still in the front there, taking damage. They don't care too much. They're going to drop their second inhibitor. And Curse Gaming now up 10 kills and 13,000 gold. And they've picked up 2 inhibs as well.
Yeah, Lamia able to get in there and hit, but I don't think he's doing too much damage. Is there a Last Whisper in his inventory? It looks like he was trying to hit Angush, then Maluno. Slepper was the one to swap, and it's not really going to do too much damage as that gives him the MR, or Method Resistance, and armor. These guys just playing a fantastic game and really thinking about the mechanics of the fight before they initiate into it. And like you said, Cyanide kind of jumping into that fight alone under a completely full health turret. They didn't even focus Cyanide with any damage during that attack. So yeah, it was really kind of miscommunicated there by Fnatic for the entry into the fight.
Yeah, I think they split up their crowd controls. The stuns wore off by the time Fnatic came back in. It was an unfortunate circumstance for them, but of course, this group stage, you're going to play all the other teams here. Fnatic, even if they lose this game, are not out whatsoever. You can still, of course, cheer them on at home or in the audience here at DreamHack. We've got basically sequential matches. All the matches of the group stage today are going to be streamed, by the way. So if you want to watch your favorite teams play, their games are all going to be streamed here. Every hour, a new game's going to come up. The next one, by the way, will be Millennium versus PAH. That was one of the, actually both those teams were bring your own computer bracket teams here. So you're going to see kind of some fresh faces come out here and see how they can bring it out. Millennium did get second place last night in the rest of that tournament there. So we're going to see how these games can turn around right now. Fnatic kind of push back into their base. A lot of super minions pushing them back into safety, and we'll see if they can get enough gold to make Ashe a scary force in this fight.
Let's see what they can do here as they go to push into the base. They will go for that top. As we said, Fnatic has really great wave clearing ability. You can just see Anivia's ult and the volley from Lamia. More than happy to throw off that. Still has enough mana for the fight initiation. Ashe Arrow is up. And the depth charge is up, so they have the long range initiate here if Karthus is to step out. Angush heading through the front door says, hey, I'm on the backside. Don't worry about it, guys. Just keep on that top turret. I'm going to go ahead and start hitting Nexus turrets. Here he is damaging the first one, getting no focus, but they know this is going to be a split focus, and they got to be careful how they do this. Felox and both Cyanide want to stay in the fight. The Nivea wall goes down. Zinnik getting caught out, but the focus now, Nivea, Expeke is attacking Soraka. He needs to be throwing that damage onto somebody else. Expeke quickly damaged down and focused by Angush. Very nice job as Lamia forced to continue the fight as Requiem comes down for the double kill. And this will be the clincher for Curse as they continue to beat down on the Nexus turrets, exposing the Nexus now for the final bit of damage. A very nice game by CURSE.EU to come out in the beginning of the day over Fnatic pretty dominantly.
Yeah, phenomenal job by them. Actually trying to get some kills in the fountain a little bit. Melito did go down because of that. Great play overall by Curse. From minute one, they had some phenomenal fights going on there. The first blood early on, and the repeated ganks using Karthus and using Soraka for their global ultimates. And just look at some of the scores there. 0-1 and 17 on Soraka. 17 assists, only that one death where she got caught out. Her only death was to Baron, to be fair. You know, a great job done by all these players. And of course, Fnatic holding on as long as they can. Still, they've got more games to play today. These group stages were taken, you know, 2 teams out of each of these groups, each group with 4 teams in it. And all of Group A, all of Group B happening today. Yeah,
it's going to be amazing. You know, those 17 assists was amazing because we didn't see too many, team fights. So that means she's getting assists on saying, hey, I'm bottom lane, top lane's fighting. Oh, I'll just wish. I'll just wish. Great map awareness, great map control. Curse really playing a very strong game there, and I think that there was a mistake on letting him get that Urgot Soraka battle.
Yeah, you know, we saw it, you know, in the game I casted yesterday with Curse, CLG. Yeah, Urgot's been a dominant force. He's shut down lanes. He's caused a lot of scary fights. We saw the one gank where he got jumped on 3 versus 2 and pulled up a swap, and then it was a 3 versus 3, and they came out equal. He actually picked up the kill first onto Ashe, and then, you know, the rest of the kills kind of started falling into place. But, you know, I think Urgot might just be, again, one of the champions of this tournament that people need to watch out for and deal with.
Yes, the last few tournaments, he's been that controversial pick in ban. Shen is well on there. Alistar on that list as well. We've just seen so many, but now I think we're going to see a little bit of Karthus. Just way too much of an advantage when you are in a team composition like that to say, hey, like I said, you know, initiate or end the fight. I don't have to go anywhere. You know, you don't even have to follow your lane for that.
Yeah. I mean, just being able to just jump in there and help with every kill, it's so valuable. It just really, really is. You know, you get gold passively because you pick up assists. You know, it's not a big part of your laning game. Karthus laning without an ultimate is really not the same, or it's about the same as Karthus laning with an ultimate. He's not losing a lot of power by doing this. So, you know, his overall power is still fine. He's just, you know, doing a lot of great things overall over and over in these fights. So, yeah, Karthus just, you know, a great pick, had a lot of presence in that game, and Extinct played it great.
You know, coming out into that, they did have great builds coming in. We did see that Karthus got that Rod of Ages really early, and that wasn't good. Felix was taking so much damage as Taric down bottom, and that leaves Lamia to kind of just run around by himself without that stun to stop Urgot from swapping, without that heal as well. So they were really able to dominate with that entire composition.
Yeah. Now, one thing, we do have questions from the fans going to be coming through in this as we switch between games. So we're actually pulling up some of the posts from the forums here, and we're pulling some of your guys' questions. So XM3 Tricks says, why do competitive teams rather let their lanes pick up for the team composition while they could simply counter lanes and destroy one person? So he asks, you know, why are they picking, you know, overall team compositions as opposed to just counter laning?
Right.
And you can do both. That's what you want to try to do, is you look at a champion like Aurelia and you say, okay, Aurelia, you know, is a strong laner. You know, she's actually really good against, actually did really well against Nidalee, but, you know, she's a strong laner, helps with ganks, doesn't escape ganks all that well, but, you know, can really help gank people down, can get a lot of kills, and she's a late game scaling champion. You contrast that with someone else, you know, who might be a weaker laner top, say, sorry, a strong laner top, you know, strong with ganks, but maybe not as good late game, like maybe tank Gangplank, right? Where you don't have quite the damage of Aurelia later on, but you harass a little bit harder. And you say, well, you know, both these will do well in lane, but my team needs late game damage, right? That's what they need from my lane, so that's what I'm going to grab here, right? We're going to go for a late game team composition because we need to make up for the fact that Urgot might not be that carry. We need people who can kill people that Urgot swap.
Right.
And so he said, okay, we'll go a high damage source. And still you'd have a laner that says, well, I'll survive in all of my lanes. You know, what you saw here from Bruiser Nidalee was, you know, Soaz thought he could beat that Aurelia in the lane. It was only those early ganks that set him behind. He said, but, you know, I'm still bringing important things to the team comp, right? I'm going to give attack speed to Ashe, who's very high range, high damage carry. So, you know, you wouldn't have really seen Nidalee, I don't think, with an Urgot, for example, because you're not going to have that same synergy there. And so you want to measure both, right? You never pick into a lane where you're going to lose. You don't say, oh, man, they picked Darius. Well, we really need Aurelia, guys. Let's do this, right? You don't do that. You do have to keep your lane in mind, but you do need to pick for your team under that umbrella.
Indeed, you know, and they can also switch it up. We also saw Wicked playing AP Malphite against Darius yesterday, and Darius is like, oh, I'm going to go in a lane. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of defense, whatever. But no, he went AP, and he was actually able to beat Darius top lane. So if they were to counter that in champ select, they got countered in lane because Wicked had a different idea. So you can't really base it all off of that. It can be played differently.
All right, so guys, we do have an interview with D-Man and Extinct coming up there, so let's swap it over and see what that's going to be doing.
Very cool.
Good morning and welcome from the player area. Joining me here is Zinnik from Curse in his rather fashionable onesie.
Yeah, the story behind that was we didn't have enough Curse shirts, so I took this one on, and then we made it in like 10 minutes, printed out something, and duct taped it. So now I have another kind of uniform.
It's very nice. So, first game of the day, and pretty much the first big win of the day. You've just beat Fnatic. Now, 3 weeks ago, if somebody had said to me, you know, Curse beat Fnatic on LAN, it's like, yeah, well, of course. You know, they've been having a rough patch, but Fnatic coming into this one have been fantastic. So that's got to be a good feeling straight away.
Yeah, definitely. Like, they were actually the team I feared the most in the entire tournament right now, maybe together with Moscow 5. But we're really happy about winning this best out of one. It means a lot for our confidence.
Yeah, and how does it compare? Because obviously you've had a pretty rough trip in America. It didn't go so well for you at the Reign of Gaming and MLG. Is this immediately going to make up to boost the confidence?
Yeah, we kind of needed it. We was pretty down from losing to MLG that fast. Like, we know what we did wrong, and we have been trying to work on it, even though we didn't have that much time to prepare. But it's really, really big, and we're like, it's really important to get this win.
So that puts you effectively in pole position for the group stage now. Looking at the groups that's going to happen later on, obviously you've got Moscow 5, CLG, which, you know, we've talked about earlier, AL in there as well, obviously your former team. So who would you really want to see out of those guys?
I would love to see AL going final with us. I like that team very, very much. I think they have a lot of potential. I don't know how much they have shown, but I think they're a really, really, really great team. I don't think CLG is going to get that far, and if they are, they're going to get crossed by us anyways. Moscow 5, like, it's kind of hard to judge how well they are right now. I feel like they're strong, even though they had a downtime where they weren't that strong on the online events, but you never know about them, so they can definitely also win this.
Yeah, and talking about CLG, you did a similar tactic, I noticed, against Fnatic. You pretty much camped SOAS on top. Is that something you guys always just work at, just really take the top guy out of the game?
No, not really, but the thing about Urgot lane is you can't really do that much with a gank until level 6. And we knew they were going to use a lot of resources on ganking us bottom, like 4-man gank bottom, I don't know what minute, but they were like there forever, so we knew it was going to happen, so that was like, why not take the Nidalee down?
Yeah, and obviously, you know, we've got the support player here. you got caught in the Baron pit by some pretty epic stuns. But following that was an absolutely astounding 4v5 fight that Extinct picked up, well, effectively the quadra kill, but Anivia's Rebirth saved him. I mean, we wanted to get Extinct for this, but he was like, no, send Zinec forward. But, I mean, what was it going through your team's sort of comms when that all happened?
Well, we knew we were stronger even without me. Like they said, we can go for this, we can go for this. And I said, I'm up in, I think, 7 seconds, and I had my ulti up because I didn't use it in the Baron pit. I just died without flashing or anything. That was really bad play, but we knew we were stronger, so we took the fight with CURSE, and they just got crushed.
Yeah, so, I mean, any sort of matches you're going to look forward to seeing the rest of the day?
I don't know, maybe Moscow 5 versus CURSE.EU.
Okay, well, anything you'd like to say to your fans? Obviously, you've got to peer people. You can see the screen over there. You're on it.
Yeah, sure. If you guys need any good guides, then check out lolpro.com. It's like really the best site. We're still working on it, but it's really, really good. Also, if you need in TeamSpeak, that's definitely the best way to go. If you need any kind of communication with your team, you should definitely check it out.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Curse. Zinec joining us here. Nice round of applause for you over there as well. It's going to be Millennium versus PAH. That's going to be coming up shortly with myself and Joe Miller.